Well, hello and welcome to my little book corner. Today we are going to do something which I think is going to be pretty fun. At least I'm hoping it's going to be. I was scrolling on Goodreads because you can find really good recommendations and they have a lot of lists and posts on there. One day I found this list that was called Most Read Books of This Week. Wouldn't it be really interesting to see what books are read most this week and just read those books, or at least some of them? So I went through this list of this week. This is actually week 13. This is actually filmed March 25th. So if the list is a little bit different now that you're watching it, that could be because I'm filming things in advance. But this week, the book that is on number 1 is actually Bunny. I know of this book because this has been a whole thing. It's a hit or miss for a lot of people, but the main thing that I know is that it's really weird and that it's confusing and that it's supposed to be that way, but that is definitely why a lot of people do not like the book. I don't know in what category I'm going to fall. I do have to say I have some sense that I'm not going to like it because it's going to be really confusing and hard to read because of that. Because if I don't understand something, I will get really frustrated, and I feel like it's going to happen with this book. But who knows? Maybe I will actually really like it. I have absolutely no idea what it's about. I couldn't tell you. I do know that it's about a cult, that it's supposed to be really weird and probably gross and just really confusing. But because that's number 1, we're definitely going to read that. There are some other books that are on my radar to read. Assistant to the Villain was on there. I have that on my physical TBR, so it would be great if we could read that. The other one that intrigued me was Gothicana Runics. I've absolutely never heard of this book, but a lot of people have read it. I just never heard of it. This book is a dark romance. We will see what that is about. When I read the synopsis, I also didn't know what to make of it. I guess that's kind of apparently what people like this week. Weird, random, odd books. But first, we're going to start with Bunny and help. By the way, now seeing that it's listed as a horror, I don't know if I can take horror. So we're gonna see where this ship is going to sail because I feel like I'm gonna sink really fast. I've now been reading Bunny for a couple of days and I have to say I do not know what is happening. I'm at chapter 11, which is 27% into the book, and I have no idea what's going on, and I'm getting a little bit, I don't know, it's getting weird. My brain is not loving everything. I'm intrigued. I want to know what is going to happen and what the horror aspect of this is, and even though I do get a little bit of the horror aspect already, but I just do not know where this is going, and I don't really care about all of the details. I just want to know what is going on. I just don't know what to think. So I also started another book because I am not dealing well with reading this book in the late hours. So I also started Assistant to the Villain, and I am already loving this one. I tried to read this before, but it wasn't the right time, so I wasn't actually invested in what was happening, and I couldn't even get through the first pages, even though I did know I was going to like it eventually, but it just wasn't the right time, and now I'm already loving it. I flew through the first 2 chapters, so I'm excited to get back to this again, which does make it a little bit harder for me to, pick up Bunny. But I am going to read a little bit of Bunny now first, and then finish this day off with Assistant to the Villain. I am finding a theme, because the 3 books that I'm reading are a little bit dark or horror. This isn't necessarily like dark or horror. This is about a villain and being an assistant to the villain. So it does involve a morally gray character. And the other one that was on my list to read is a dark romance, so people have enjoyed reading dark things. It's interesting, it's an experiment. But let me get back to Bunny before I get cold feet. I'm so confused. did I get myself into? Just got out of bed, so please do not look at this. But I had to film this portion because I just finished Bunny, and I have to say I'm shocked. I do not know what to think. I just don't. I don't know what happened. The minute I started reading, I knew what I was getting into. Like, I knew this was going to be a very confusing book and whatnot. But I didn't think it would go this way. There were bunnies and they exploded and they turned into people and there was this cult and I don't know. I don't know what happened. I can't even explain. There are a lot of theories on the internet about this book that I might want to get into. Like, I might want to watch some videos or read some reviews because I just don't know what to think of this and I cannot explain it. I literally cannot explain it. And I do have to say I was intrigued. Like, I wanted to know what was going on. I also didn't care, but I did care. I don't know what to do about this book. I don't know what to give it. The writing style was amazing. It was really dark, but it was amazing. And I just don't know what to give this because I would not read this again. This whole book is just a question mark for me. I don't know what to do, so I'm going to keep it at no rating at the moment. I just need some time to think about this. And I know that there are people that just love these kind of books, so if you like horror and confusing things and not knowing what is going on, go read Bunny. Otherwise, do not, because there is some explicit content in there and a lot of blood for some reason. That was it for Bunny. I'm glad that is out of the way, but I really want to get back to Assistant to the Villain because I just loved the first pages of that, and I started that just because I couldn't read Bunny at night, but last night I just ended up reading Bunny at night, so I don't know what happened, and I'm just hoping that I'm not gonna get nightmares from it. But let me go and read Assistant to the Villain because I am craving that book. Okay, I wanted to do a quick little update because I also started the other book, the third book that was on my list of the best books of this week, which is, I don't remember the name. Gothicana? I don't remember the name. But it's another dark romance thing. I have no idea what to expect. I'm going in blind, but I have been enjoying it. I mean, it's that kind of book that you'd read in high school and just, you know, love. I feel like there's going to be a lot of spice in it, which I'm not necessarily a fan of a lot of spice, and I feel like this is going to be that kind of book, but it's going to be fine. From what I've read so far, I think I'm going to like it. It's about a high school thing, like a scary castle that kind of sponsors children. It picks up the children that aren't in a place where they can go to a good education. The school kind of takes them in and gives them a good education, but then a lot of weird stuff starts happening, and this girl, I don't know what her name is anymore, she got to go to the school and really strange things start happening to her, and she has kind of a past that is concerning for her. And there's this forbidden romance I'm sensing because there's this hot teacher, obviously, that you shouldn't date with, and there's a strict rule. There aren't a lot of rules, but there's one strict rule at the school that you do not date your teachers. So I feel like there's going to be this forbidden romance as well, and we'll just see. We'll see. As for the other book, Assistant to the Villain, I'm loving that one. It's another YA story, and I'm liking it. I feel like there's going to be a lot of things happening. There's a traitor in our midst, and we need to find it out. I feel like I know who it's going to be, and I'm really hoping she's not going to be it, because otherwise it would be a little bit too, you know, cliche. Maybe, but we'll see. I'm just really excited to go back into that book, and I'm reading 2 books at a time again. It's been a long time since I've been able to read two books at the same time, but we're doing it. We're back. I finished Assistant to the Villain, and also I'm holding it upside down, but also I finished Gothicana. I don't know how to say that, but I finished both. It took me a while, actually. I started this video around week 13 because that was the week that these 3 books were part of the most read books of that week. It's now a little bit later, but I did finish them. I traveled a lot, so Gothicana was actually the one I finished first because I had my reader with me all the time and I couldn't bring a physical book with me all the time. But now I finished this one as well, so they're both done. And I have to say, this was a weird week. A week where people really wanted to read dark romances and horror almost. And then this one, which is a YA moral grey kind of thing. It was kind of the same, but it was also really, really different. Because this one was just a YA really sweet story of, you know, being the assistant to the villain. You know, it turned out there was this whole thing going on with a traitor, and we found out who it was, and it wasn't the one who I thought it was, which I was really happy with, because otherwise I would have not liked the book as much as I did, because it took a turn, guys. It took a turn. And I am actually excited to read the other books as well, because I think the 3rd one is even out already. I don't know. I'm always late with, you know, popular books. But I'm really, really glad I read this. It's just a really sweet YA villain story. You go with Evie Sage through her day-to-day life being the assistant to the villain. And then obviously a whole plot that comes around it, and, you know, it's really fun. It's really fun. And a romance. It's all about the forbidden romances this week, apparently. I'm giving this one a 4 stars. I really, really liked it. And I also want to continue this series, so I think it's worth a 4 stars. Then for Gothicana, I don't even know if I'm saying it right. I really don't know how to pronounce it, but that one was a little bit more twisted. And there was a lot more spice in it. There's no spice in Assistant to the Villain. This one had a lot of spice, and it was a lot of dark spice. And I mean, it got a little competitive at one point. It just really felt like a story you would read, you know, high schoolers would love, because it's just really cheesy as well, giving the romance. The plot, on the other hand, was amazing. I really liked what was going on, the fact that this was this magical school. I always loved dark academia, but this magical school almost, or there is magic but also not. It's a weird thing. The author is hinting that there is magic, and some people do have this sort of special sense to some things, but also things got debunked a lot, so I don't know. I don't know if there's actual magic in the world. But the main girl just comes at this school. She has this whole past with her mother and all this stuff that are, you know, she has gone through and that are bothering her. She gets invited to this school and she meets a lot of new people, so she thinks a new start. But a lot of strange things keep happening at that school, and obviously there's this hot teacher that is also the most mysterious man, and he goes into the woods that no one goes to, you know. He's this mysterious man, suspicious man, and obviously you're not supposed to fall for your teachers, but this wouldn't be a dark romance without being a forbidden romance as well. And so she obviously falls for that teacher. But a lot of other things keep happening, and there's this whole story. There are ghosts involved, or at least she sees ghosts, or they're not ghosts. I don't know what they are. We don't know. what her deal is, and she doesn't know either. But she hears voices and she can see some slivers of ghost, I think, and she senses a lot of things, so she kind of goes and tries to unfold what is going on. But yeah, I give that book a 3 stars because I did like the plot. I just didn't like the romance moments, and there were a lot of those. It just started feeling competitive, and it wasn't for me. So I'm giving it 3 stars. And that was it for this week. We read Bunny at the beginning of this video, which was a really, really weird and strange book that I'm still thinking of. Every time I see a bunny, I just think of that book. It just happens. Bunny, Gathikana, and Assistant to the Villain. 2 of them books I thought I would never read. One of them I didn't even know existed. The other one I just never thought I was going to read. And Assistant to the Villain was obviously on my physical TBR, so I can now scratch that off. That's it for this video. I looked at the list now and it's totally different from what it was when I looked for this video. So it's really fun to see that every week has its own most read books. And sometimes they're like connected, like right now they're all dark books, or at least have something to do with morally grey characters. Sometimes they're just the most random books as well. You really do not know what you get. So I really like this premise of this video. But that means there's only one thing left to say, and that is on to the next video.